friends. How are you? It is Monday. It looks like everybody's numbers are going down, so that's been really wonderful. We're hoping our daughter can go back to school this week, which feels really good. And so I hope things are good where you are. I hope you had a nice weekend watching the Super Bowl. If you did, I did not see it at all. I haven't. Usually Monday morning, I Google all about the commercials, and I haven't even done that yet. If you have a favorite commercial, put it in a comment because I would love to hear which ones I should definitely watch. So today, I wanted to talk about Etsy. And it's interesting because I feel like bloggers, there are certain bloggers that definitely have Etsy shops, but there are other bloggers that go, no, I'm a blogger. I don't have a shop. I don't have anything to sell. And if you listen to my podcast, the Blogger Genius podcast, you know that I share that all of the successful bloggers that we work with sell stuff. I'm like a broken record, but yes, you could definitely make money showing ads on your site. But unless you have millions and millions of page views, it's not going to buy you a second home. And yes, you can make money through affiliates. And let's say you sell car insurance with affiliates. You can make a lot of money, or credit cards, those kinds of things. Yes, you can make a lot of money. But if you are doing Amazon associates, you can definitely make a nice living. But again, it's not going to buy you a second home. However, if you can figure out a product or products to sell, this is where you can really scale your business. Now, it doesn't mean that just one download is going to buy you that second home. No, but when you find traction, you can start building off of that traction. And one of the best ways to test product ideas is on Etsy. Now people go, yeah, but I don't know. Etsy seems so basic and I should open a Shopify store. How many times have you heard that? And that, if you want more control and you want it to look cooler, because Shopify stores they look nicer than your Etsy shop, and you're on your Etsy shop with all these other sellers. And if you're kind of like, no, I want to be more exclusive, sure, go open a Shopify store. But do not expect that as soon as you open the Shopify store, people are going to be showing up. You have to be in charge of driving that traffic. So with your Shopify store, you have to set up your store, make it look good, optimize it. And then you've got to come up with products and create those products and put them in your store. And then you've got to market your store and drive traffic to your store. And if you can assume, let's say, a 2% conversion rate, which is really good for selling, that means if you are able to drive 100 people to your store, you can expect 2 sales. So think of how much work that is. And also, by the way, you're in charge of creating those products or coming up with product ideas. And in order to test products, it's a lot harder to test them on your Shopify store than on an Etsy shop. And the main reason for this is because Etsy has a built-in audience. So wait, I'm going to share a link to my most recent podcast episode, which is all about selling on Etsy. So I interviewed a woman named Morgan Neild, and she is an Etsy expert, and we broke it down. Now, eventually, if you are having super success on Etsy, do I recommend you open a Shopify store? I do. Like once you've established yourself, but here's the interesting question. Do I recommend you close down your Etsy shop? Does anyone want to answer and put it in a comment? So let's say you've had success on Etsy and so much success and it's worth it for you. Like you're selling $1,000 a month on Etsy, which is what I have heard is kind of the threshold to then open your Shopify store. Do you shut down your Etsy shop? Anybody want to answer? Well, I recommend you do not shut down your Etsy shop. You keep your Etsy shop open and you have your Shopify store and your Etsy store, and you are now selling in multiple places. And then do I recommend you sell on, say, Facebook or potentially even Amazon? I do, once you've gotten traction. Remember, the people who are on Etsy aren't on your Shopify store, and they're not necessarily the people on Amazon or buying from you on Facebook. These are all different markets, and you want to tap into as many as you can. But again, it's that idea. You've got to make sure that your product solves somebody's problem enough so that they're willing to open up their wallet and buy from you. And that's what's great about Etsy. I can't think of a better platform to use to test, to come up with product ideas and to test those products. So the first thing I recommend you do is go to Etsy. So first you say, I don't have any product ideas. And I get that. It's hard. So step back and go, what am I an expert in? What problems do I normally solve for people with my blog? And then how can I come up with a product? Could it be an ebook? Could it be a download? Could it be a checklist? Could it be something? Even something, by the way, that you give away as an opt-in could be a product. Maybe you expand it a little bit. Maybe you don't. Maybe you try selling it on Etsy. But the best part about Etsy is you can get your shop up in an afternoon. And you don't have to have 100 products to start. Maybe you start with 1. Maybe you start with 5. Maybe you start with 10. But I wouldn't start with more than that. And what's great about it is you can do research on Etsy for product ideas. So go Google or search, not Google, go search Etsy for ideas. Look, and you can see what's selling. A lot of times you can see how many sales something gets. You can see what people are putting out there. And your job is to look at that and be inspired and go, is there a way I can add my own twist to this based on my special sauce? Or can I see what people are selling and can I make it better and more useful? If I'm in a niche, and this is why I recommend we niche down. If I'm in a niche, I should know my niche really well. I know what they want. So I look on Etsy. I see what are people looking for the solution? What's already working? Can I make it any better? And then can I test it? So then you want to put up different products, different permutations, and see if you can sell them. And these could be physical goods. These can be digital goods. Just try. And again, assume, this is where I seem like a spoil sport, but I need to say this. Assume it won't work the first time. And notice I said the first time, because chances are you will learn and you'll get better and you'll figure it out. And maybe you actually sell your product and you reach out to that person and you ask them, why'd you buy this? What was it that you liked? And you listen and you hear the words that they're using when they talk about their problem or they talk about your solution, and you use those words in your copy. Use those words to sell your product. So all of this is already baked into Etsy. Now, the big criticism people have about Etsy is Etsy has high fees. Etsy will make you advertise and take a percentage of your sale, and you don't have like a way to opt out of that. But remember the Shopify model. You're having to drive traffic, and it's either going to take you time or money or a combination of those things to drive traffic to your Shopify store. So you're either going to have to run ads, or you're going to have to hustle like crazy on Instagram and Facebook and all of Pinterest and all these platforms to get traffic. So you better believe you're already paying on a platform like Shopify. So when you see these fees on Etsy, assume those are your marketing dollars that you would be, both in terms of your time, in terms of your money, that you'd be spending on another platform. So all of a sudden it doesn't look as like not a good deal. It is a good deal. And especially because you just show up on Etsy, you optimize your listings with keywords, and you go and see and test. And I am such a believer in testing fast, testing cheap, and testing awesome. Not awesome, often. Geez. And doing B- work. And in fact, Morgan and I talk about the value of do not be perfect when you're setting up your Etsy shop. I personally believe do, be, minus work throughout your business. And then you can continue to iterate and iterate and iterate. So think about it that way. This is the best way to get something up and start testing. So you can do your product ideation, coming up with what should I sell, all on Etsy. Then I would go to Pinterest and I'd go to Google and I'd search for these things. Because again, the more things I could see that are similar to what I want to do, the more ideas I get. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. Okay, you can do whatever you want. This is just my advice. But my advice is you don't want to create a product that nobody's ever heard of, that you then have to educate people on how to use it. You want it to be so self-explanatory that people already know what this is. Yours is just a little bit better. You're going to talk about why yours is a little bit better. Or maybe it involves your own story. Maybe you have a compelling story. Maybe a percentage of your sales go to the homeless or cancer research or something like that. And people can be like, whoa, I want to buy from her. And that's the other thing. We think we buy from companies, but really, especially on a place like Etsy, we buy from people. And because on Etsy, you've got all of these maybe shady sellers. If you can set yourself up as a real person, like you're buying from Jillian, like I'm the real deal. I'm a mom. I'm at home. I'm making crochet purses, whatever it is. And I can tell you my story. That is so compelling. And that makes somebody feel good when they buy from you. And you want all of those good feelings. So what is your story? How can you separate yourself? Whether it be that my crochet purses are the most beautiful, the most trendy, the most durable, or if you buy from me, I'm going to give a percentage of my sales away, or you're going to be supporting me and my life and my story. And like if you're, let's say, a mom with young children and I'm a mom with young children, wow, we relate and we can kind of be in this together. Think about these in terms of marketing. What makes you different? And then the other thing that I recommend is when it comes to marketing, and Morgan and I shared about this, your best channel is not Instagram. Should you be on Instagram? Absolutely. And Pinterest? Absolutely. But what Morgan said, and I believe this, your best channel for sales on Etsy is your email list. So once you get a sale, so somebody buys from you and they have a good experience, chances are they'll buy from you again. Or they'll tell their girlfriend, or somehow like word will spread. Therefore, you want to invest in your email list because those will become your evangelists. And you can tell them when you have a new product launch because, again, they're more apt to, they know you, they like you, they trust you. That's like a really, that's an honor when you can build that kind of relationship versus somebody who sees a pin on Pinterest, doesn't know you from Adam, and now you've got to get them to feel comfortable enough to buy from you. I loved this advice. I am so gung-ho on nurturing your email list, growing your email list, and really speaking to your email list as friends. Now, not the kind of friends where you, I don't know, share all of your inner secrets. Not that, but like the kind of friend where you like something and you like crochet and they like crochet. It's like, boom, you bond over that. And that's how I want you to think about your email list when you're talking to them. They already like you. You already like them. So expand on that, go deeper in terms of sharing all of the cool stuff you're doing and welcome feedback from them so that you can continue to create products that they want to buy from you. And the thing that Morgan did that I thought was genius, you can't on Etsy, this is the other thing, you don't own your email list. So you have these people who buy from you and then you can't like add them directly to your list. What you can do is when you respond to them and say, here's, the shipping date, here's when you can expect your product, you can offer an opt-in, a download, something for free and say, hey, I saw you. So Morgan did this thing that I thought was so brilliant. She sold baby headbands for girls. And she made her own fabric so that they were cool. And she would go on Pinterest and look at trends and go, okay, zebra is really cool this year. I'm going to create some zebra fabric. And then I'm going to sell headbands that are hip and happening that you want to buy for your daughter. But what she would do is she would take those patterns and she would offer a free download, like an image of that pattern, and say, hey, do you want to get this that you can frame and let's say put in your nursery? Because I already know you like this pattern, and here's a free download. Go buy a quick frame and you've got some decoration. And so she would say, hey, do you want the matching download? And people would opt in. And so in order to opt in, she'd get your email list and she'd offer you something of value. So you could put links to those things in your listings, in your thank you messages to your customers. You just have to be a little bit creative about how that all works. So I just thought that that was like so good. So nurturing your email customers through email, which doesn't seem intuitive. I don't know. I would guess, like, if you were to say, what platform would I think people with Etsy shops are really trying to gain customers? I would have said Instagram probably first, and I would have said Pinterest second, and I would have said, I think those should be reversed. I bet you'll get more sales if you focus on Pinterest than Instagram, but Instagram's a little sexier than Pinterest, so I bet people would kind of lean into Instagram. And I love this idea of leaning into email. So those are my thoughts. Does anybody who is listening have an Etsy shop? By the way, if you are watching the replay of this, please comment with hashtag replay, and also put a link to your Etsy shop in this live stream so we can all check each other out and see what we're selling and support each other and maybe find that beautiful crochet purse for your best friend's birthday or whatever it is. So please share about your Etsy shop and share. Oh, hi, Chastita. Yes, you have an Etsy shop. Great. Put a link to it right here so people can see what you're offering. And is Chastita, is this new thinking for you, or do you feel like, oh, I know this and this is how I run my business? Let me know what you think about that. Anyway, so I wanted to just make sure that even if you're thinking you started to listen to this and you're like, oh, there's no way, Etsy's not for me. I hope by the end of this, you really consider it. Again, I think selling is really powerful. I think it is the way to grow your business in a very large way. But it takes trial and error, and it takes a lot of testing. I think Etsy is the perfect platform for testing. So please let me know. Also, if you're on Clubhouse, follow me at Jillian Leslie. I think I'm going to do a Clubhouse today, maybe talking about this, because I think this would be a really good topic. So be on the lookout for a notification on Clubhouse. And another thing I wanted to share, and I'm going to be posting about this in the group, is I am doing TikToks. I just started like 3 or 4 days ago, but I really like it. And I'm doing kind of entrepreneur tips on TikTok, and my account is MiloTree. So if you want to follow along, please do. And maybe it will inspire you to try TikTok. It's a really entertaining platform. Like, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it even more than Instagram or making reels. I don't feel as much pressure on TikTok. It feels a little rougher, but also I would say even more entertaining because it's a little more casual. It's a little more basic, but I like basic. So that's what I've been up to. Please share in a comment what you've been up to, what you're trying, what you're working on, what you're trying out, what you're experimenting. Because again, I'm such a big believer in running lots of experiments and seeing where you can get some traction. So let's see, what did Chastita say? I started with Etsy 3 years ago, decided last year I wanted to try Shopify instead, and found for me at this point it is better to have the built-in audience. So you're saying that you found the Etsy built-in audience better than your Shopify audience. I totally get that. And that is valid. I recommend when you really see traction on Etsy, then it's time to open your Shopify store, but it's harder to do it the other way. It's harder to really learn fast with a Shopify store. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. Please, again, if you are watching the replay, put hashtag replay. I'd love to know if you have an Etsy shop, what it is, put a link to it, what you think about Etsy, what you think works for you on Etsy. And also if there's anything in your business you're trying, like I'm trying with TikTok, finding it kind of fun to do some dancing and stuff. Kind of weird, but kind of fun. Let me know what you are experimenting, what experiments you are running in your business. I would be fascinated to know. All right. I will see you guys here again soon. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Talk to you later.